Let me ask you about the misconduct here, and like what you were saying earlier of okay, there's this little thing over here. They're going to see it on the graph, and we know it's not a big deal. It at the end of the day, my results are solid. At least that's what they're thinking. Are they though? I mean, does this change the results of the work? Could this get someone wrongfully convicted? Could this let someone free who shouldn't be free? I mean, what are the true results of what could happen by this sort of misconduct?
Based on my experience, I would say it is very much less likely that somebody would be free that shouldn't be free
Okay,
than somebody would be wrongfully convicted that shouldn't have been convicted. That doesn't seem to be the way that these sorts of misconducts play out. They don't work in favor of defendants as a rule.
sure.
Um, there may be some sort of ironic circumstance where it actually did work to a defendant's advantage during the original trial, but that's pretty unlikely. That's probably not that probably wasn't what Missy Woods had in mind when
Hmm.
she was what she was doing. Um, so yeah, I don't think that you might not know, Tony. I actually have encountered Missy Woods in court
Oh,
over the
really?
years. I've testified a number of times in Colorado, and some, I don't know, at least for the issues that I worry about, some important cases where precedents were being set, and she was often in court, and occasionally, I think, even testified as an opposing witness to me.
Uh huh.
Um, so, what's going to happen with these 652 cases is there is now a very good chance that, um, well, at the very least, the evidence in those cases is going to be reevaluated very carefully. And it may well be that courts find that the DNA test results should no longer be considered to be reliable, and then an assessment needs to be made as to whether or not a jury would still have likely convicted even if they hadn't seen the DNA evidence. And in those circumstances, also there will be talk about doing retesting. That might not
Yeah.
always be a possibility. And there may well be some need for quite a few retrials.
That's mind blowing for that many cases. And the 653 is or 652 is all we know about right now.
And
Obviously,
there are
they're
people
still going from 90 to '08 to 94. Um,
And and there are people who have probably already completed their prison sentences who whose cases and maybe people who are no
yeah.
longer with us, maybe people who are deceased who completed their prison sentence. So I don't even know how you make things up
And
to
and this would be, I mean, this is Colorado. So would she have been handling cases from all over the state that were sent to her with DNA, or a specific geographic area that has to be reevaluated on those cases, or is this kind of like the whole state?
well, the Colorado laboratory, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, uh, does deal with casework across the whole state. They do have more or less branch offices and set up in some different counties. But by the end of her career, she was the DNA technical lead. She was like the person who supervised all of the testing going on there. And there has been now, at least in the wake of the investigation into Missy Woods, there is now at least one other analyst who has been suspended, actually, for which I think criminal charges are now pending
Yeah.
for issues in casework that she had been doing for the past 10 years. So it's a, you know, it, yeah,
This is, yeah, it's welcome news for those incarcerated in Colorado. And DNA had something to do with their incarceration. I'm sure they're all trying to look back. Was this person involved? Was this lab involved? Was Missy involved? Was the other individual Shiera? Is that how you say her name?
I think so.
Shiera.
I
Yeah.
It's as good as mine.
Hey, it's Tony Brueski. If you like the podcast, be sure to like, subscribe, and press that bell so you don't miss any of our updates on the cases we're following for you right here at the Hidden Killers podcast from True Crime Today. And thanks